This is where the fun begins.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Building and Chatting. Of course, we got Ace back because we're going to talk about Daredevil, Born
Hello,
Again.
everyone.
And we got 2 more episodes this time instead of just one. So we're doing episodes 5 and 6. So let's get right on into episode 5. So you want to start us off, Ace?
So, episode 5, I'll say both. I don't know, first and foremost, both of these episodes, they literally tell you point blank in these episodes. Don't forget, we're in the MCU, by the way. Episode 5 wasn't too bad. It was your typical, let's hijack a bank. We're gonna rob the bank and stuff. But this is your typical bank. This is like family heirlooms and stuff that you don't want to lose and everything. Yep. You have the Power Ranger gang coming in, and we get to meet Kamala Khan's dad once again.
Yes.
And
they gotta remind us that it's the MCU. Remember, we're Miss Marvel's here, everybody.
Yep. I didn't even see the Miss Marvel Funko Pop that she made for her dad, and until what was it? I saw it on TikTok while I was at work, but yeah, it was a fun, typical bank heist episode, and then Matt Murdock obviously came in. Finally, for the love of God, we finally got to see him be Daredevil in this. And not gonna lie, I feel bad for bro's kneecaps for sure. For someone who has leg pain, yeah, that definitely hurt. I did clench up a bit for that one. Episode 5 wasn't too bad. I mean, it was nothing too spoilery. Besides, Miss Marvel's dad shows up, which was a nice nod.
I mean, the main thing with episode 5 to go through it is like, yeah, Matt just starts beating up people. Like he's not in the Daredevil outfit, but he's definitely back in that persona, wanting to save people at the bank, beat up these robbers and everything. And then they find Yusuf and his dad find the jewel they're looking for in the vault. He's like, "Here, take it," and just throws the jewel up in the air. As we later know, was a piece of candy, and then he actually had the jewel on him the whole time, and gave it back to Kamala Khan's dad, Yusuf. And then besides that, yeah, he takes the red robber mask and beats up the dude that stole a cop outfit or whatever. And of course, it was an Irish gang on St. Patrick's Day, so had to do that.
Yeah, which was a bit funny. I didn't even know it was St. Patrick's Day when that episode dropped. I was confused why everybody was green, too. But I mean, yeah, this was a good episode. It wasn't really anything crazy. And when I watch Matt Murdock and Kamala Khan's dad like talk and stuff, I don't know why. It seems like they have like this weird kind of not Disney Channel kind of relationship, but it's a very friendly, open relationship where it's just like cheesy and like really nice to watch them interact. I don't know why that is the case, but it was pretty cool to see. And Wilson Fisk in this episode was really great. I actually did enjoy it. And the fact that guy had the balls to go into his office and be like, "I'm not paying my $1.8 million. And then Fisk is like, "Well, fine. If you're not going to pay it, you have by the end of the week. If not, you owe $2.8 million."
That goes.
We're seeing the cracks and those can fit the Kingpin more in the past like 2 episodes, and we definitely see in episode 6 for sure. But I mean, yeah, this episode was great. I enjoyed every single moment of it, and I was excited for it. And I was glad that they started making a little bit more connections to the MCU, because it did seem like, besides the Skrull mentioning in the court in episode 1, there was Punisher, but that was like Punisher and White Tiger expanding the MCU, but there was no Hawkeye. There was no anything else besides that. Like, obviously, you had the mentioning of the Hawkeye episode in 1, and then Echo. But besides that, there wasn't really any further implications that yes, this is the MCU, and
Yeah,
we
well,
get to
I
go
think
into
that's
that with episode 6 as well.
episode 6 had more like where this is for sure like full MCU because but we'll get into that because the thing you were talking about with Luca coming into Fisk office, that's at the beginning of episode 6 because that is when the bank heist goes wrong and he can't give Fisk the jewel to pay back the repayments.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Because
So
I had watched both of these episodes together, which makes sense why they released these two together at the same time.
yeah,
Because these two just go hand in hand, just like the first two episodes did.
and
But
then right, and then right as like the next thing, of course, we're getting introduced to the new villain, Muse, which paints which all the graffiti you've seen throughout the show and the like the ones with the kingpin or the Daredevil, all this stuff that he's been graffitiing on the walls is made with human blood. That is his MO. He takes people's
yeah,
blood and uses it to graffiti. Uh, it's very disgusting and messed up, but yes,
yeah,
that is his character. He's a serial killer that uses people's blood to draw stuff. So,
yeah.
but Fisk is like how the sanitation department found this before the cops. That means the cops need some reorganization.
Yeah, the police needs to be the first ones to know about this before these people do.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the fact that we finally got to see the vigilante task force that Wilson Fisk puts together, which was really nice. And I really liked that and how all these people worked so hard in their entire lives and then they get screwed over by their fellow coworkers, their bosses, their community, their city, the world has pretty much just screwed them over. And now he's giving these people one like a new chance at redemption, a new chance to serve their community in the right way, even though it's more grotesque. Because we do know that there is no body cams. They have free range to do whatever to get these vigilantes and these criminals off the streets.
Yeah, and
Like the Punisher, which is funny. That's
yes.
what I find hilarious because that's the whole role of the Punisher. But even the Punisher has a code as well.
Yeah, but also we know that some of these, of course, the ones that Fisk gets, of course, are the ones that were trying to frame the White Tiger for being a murderer, and he wasn't. So
Yeah,
they were literally doing in the league. They literally framed him for all that stuff too. So it's like, and even the police commissioner that does not like this Godal Gallo, he's like, these are the like some of the like worst bad apples, some of the ones that have been the worst to people. And he's like, yeah, I know. Fisk is like, yeah, I know. That's what we need.
yeah.
It's what we need to take down these
I mean,
people.
if you're gonna like, to me, like I think if you're gonna use those kind of people, you might as well do it. Like,
yeah,
like you might as well take the like some of these people out, like Muse, who, by the way, I'm not familiar with Muse until Daredevil Born Again came out and we started getting the trailers and stuff. So I had to, there were some people filling me in on what Muse is. And so I was like, oh, wow. This, like, I knew Daredevil was going to be a dark show. I did not think it was going to be this dark of a show to where you're going to have a full-on serial killer with a body count of 60 people where his entire paintings are used with blood stained on the freaking walls and stuff. And and then not only that, we see his layer too. And I was like, holy crap, this is some real type. Like, this is some real, like, excuse my language, ass shit. Like, that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, it's
like, crap. But episode 6, that's where I guess we're segueing into that because there wasn't really a whole lot of spoilers for episode 5.
Yeah, well, yeah, because, but the main thing, like you were saying, with like we can talk about the Wilson Fisk plotline a little bit because this is where it fully goes more into, I guess, more into the we're in the MCU, like this show, Daredevil, even on Netflix and Punisher. they've always been in it, the MCU, but they've always had just those little mentions in the Netflix series. Now we're getting
Yeah,
full on like things that are like, hey, Miss Marvel, Spider Man. Of course, in Daredevil season 1 of the original Netflix show, they had the
yeah,
Shatari battle events. So
yeah.
from
Like you had those connections in the original Daredevil
yeah,
show,
yeah. But
but
now we're getting like
yeah,
when Fisk goes to the gala to try and get people to work on his port project. We of course saw the one of the
this,
politicians or businessmen, of course, that was going to be Kate Bishop's stepfather, or played by the guy that plays Lalo in Better Call Saul, if you've seen.
yeah,
And
and which is the swordsman. Which honestly, that was really cool. When I saw him, I was like, wait, he looks familiar. And then
mhm,
when when White Tiger's daughter shows up and
yeah,
mentions the swordsman, I'm like, oh wait, he's the guy from Hawkeye. So
yep,
you have the swordsman out here being a vigilante. You have Spider-Man, Punisher, White Tiger, R.I.P. to him. And I really did. We wish we got more of him, but his daughter's going to take the role, which is going to be really nice. And Daredevil out here, all vigilantes, even um Kate Bishop, Hawkeye as well.
hmm
So that was a really nice nod to see that happen. And yeah, it was a nice cameo. I actually really liked it, and the fact that like yeah, Will, Wilson Fisk at the height of his power as mayor, and when he goes to the gala, he goes to these rich people for his help, and they're like, "No, we're not going to help you. There's no reason to help you. You
yeah,
know,
because they
like you
think
think you're the top
uh,
dog, you better think again."
yeah, because they think it's just mainly like because he used the port before and it was one of his big exports. It's just to enrich himself and not to help anything else. So they all were like, "Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work out, buddy." And then of course, he gets pulled out of his meeting because there's more people that have just been uh, eliminated by Muse, and he has them up against the mural mocking the cops, the girls. So it's just like,
Yeah, and that
and
was a
the
very brutal scene. Like we didn't even get
yes,
to see it, but the after effect that we saw with the two girls, I was like, "Holy crap!"
yeah,
Like this is gonna be a dark episode for sure. And the thing is, like, we all have watched dark shows. We all watched dark movies and stuff. To me, like, well, yes, that's dark. It could be a lot worse than what we saw
mm-hmm,
too. And I did think it was kind of interesting, like with the whole like, oh, they suck the blood. I'm like, he sucks the blood out of them, and I thought it was like it would have been kind of funny to me if he was a vampire for some reason in that sort of case, in some weird twisted way. He's a vampire, and that's how he does it. But no, he just does his the injections and stuff and sucks it with medical equipment.
yeah, but it's the main thing that fully gets. I'll let you go over it, but the main thing that gets Daredevil back is the White Tiger's niece and our, you know, it was Hector's niece or that, but she was because she feels like Matt's not helping her, and of course she doesn't know that Matt is Daredevil, so she goes to
Yeah.
go track the Muse down on her own, and what happens, Mister Ace?
So so obviously like she gets captured and stuff. And like
Yeah.
she talks about how you know even though you're blind and you have all this money, there's still stuff that you can do about it
Mm-hmm.
entirely. And um, kind of lost my train of thought for a moment. So anyhow, he has a coming to like God moment, coming to Christ moment, because even at the start of episode 6, we come like he's praying for like the first time ever since Foggy died, as well, which
Yeah.
was really nice to see. I did like that, and as well, and the
Yes.
fact that Disney did put that out was pretty cool in my opinion. And um, he's like, you know what? F it. I might as well just go do this myself. Because she's right. The cops aren't going to do anything about it. And if they do, they're going to be too late and she's going to be dead. So he suits up. And this is where we cut to Muse messing with the White Tiger's daughter, sucking the blood out of her leg, about to kill her. Train passes by, and we see Matt Murdock blurred, just running and running. And then we cut to him where he's in the Daredevil suit from the beginning of the show. Finally.
Yes. And then
he just starts going ham. He almost killed the guy. And that was like the whole bullseye fight sequence was good. In my opinion, this was better than the bullseye fight. Straight up.
It was really good, but also the reason why I really love this ending too is also we saw the intercut between Matt fighting Muse to Fisk fighting Adam, which is part of the Fisk and Vanessa plot line, which I thought was really cool to see, like them cutting back and forth to seeing like how they're both fine, like they're both like born again, they're becoming, you know, Daredevil and Kingpin again. And you just see it, and then it's getting crazy now, and it's honestly crazy to me that we only have 3 episodes left. And
shoot, we do have 3 episodes left. Holy crap.
And that we're already this has already happened. I wonder what else big there's going to be for this show, because Fisk and I did not expect, like, you know, I expected some crazy stuff to go down when Fisk brings an axe in there, but I didn't expect him to like go like karate chop like his neck, like blood just gushing out like that or whatever.
Like, I didn't even know Buddy was at him at all. I didn't. Like, I don't even remember him saying anything or mentioning him and Vanessa or nothing. I just thought he was like, I was younger and more weak. I had to fight people 3 times my size. And I'm like, is this his father? Why the fudge is his father still alive? I thought he died. Not even knowing what was at him. So I'm glad that was clear, that you cleared that up entirely. Because there was no context to that, in my opinion. They didn't specify it unless I completely missed out on a scene.
It was in I think it was episode 4 was one where they were talking about the affair with Adam and Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of that episode, I think it was the same episode where Punisher was in. But at the end of that episode, like, there was one final scene, and Fisk walks down to that lair, and he said, I've been told that love is forgiveness is love, Adam. Should I give that to you? And like, he's freaking out, thinking that Fisk is going to kill him, and he's just there eating in front of him.
Oh, wow.
So
okay, I did not see that.
Yeah, and then Vanessa like doesn't know where he is, because while Fisk was gone, there was this affair with him, and but so basically they're going after people. Basically, it's showing their anger, their rage back again. Matt wanting to give justice to people and stop this killer, and Fisk wanting to just, you know, go back to his old ways, because he feels like that's better. He feels like he's kind of trapped in the system. He thought he could like help or whatever. So I feel
it's the only sense where he had any sort of actual power.
Yeah,
because even like throughout the entire 3 episodes that we have seen him, he has had no control of his old business. And then when he became mayor, he was getting control. He was getting things done. And then now he has no control with this relationship with Vanessa. So now, I got to go to therapy because this is out of my control. And then now he goes to the gala, tries to get the rich to help out the poor. And they're like, nah, we're not helping you.
Yeah. I think
like the swordsman, I believe the swordsman out of all of them know exactly what kind of man the Kingpin is entirely. So
Yeah.
obviously that would make sense. But all these other rich people, they will not help him. They will not help fund these projects to grow the city, to make it more stronger, more powerful, and more safer than what it was. And so getting to see that him unleash all that anger and all that pain that he felt on Adam, like but he went far. He almost killed the guy. He kept him alive because we saw him moving still.
Spazzing a little bit there. I mean,
Yeah. Just a little stutter, it's okay. I'm not sure the network is working correctly, but and then but I love the parallels between Daredevil and Fisk because this is their show.
yeah.
And one thing that I will say with this show is that I remember when they first dropped the synopsis of the show and there was leaks and stuff, everybody was saying that Daredevil was coming back by episode 6. I did not think that that was actually going to happen. Well and behold, we got Daredevil officially back in episode 6. We got 3 episodes left. I know that most likely the next episode or episode 8, we're going to see Daredevil and Punisher team up for sure. Episode 9, I think I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple episodes. All I know is that Punisher and Daredevil, they're going to team up. And Kingpin and Daredevil are going to fight. That's all I pretty much know. As of right now, the show's going really well. It's strong. And
Yeah.
And also, the therapist is still alive. Luckily enough, the therapist is still alive, but next episode, we're going to see Vanessa Kingpin dance on the stage. And then we're going to see Matt Murdock and the therapist dance as well. So that's going to be a fun episode for sure.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be a very good finale as well for our final few episodes, because I can't remember how if it might be episode 7 and then 8, 9, I don't know exactly, but it's been really good so far. But the other thing like I wanted to say too is I liked what you said there about the Kingpin having he felt like he had no control. I'm actually going to expand on that a little more. I feel like this whole show has been Daredevil and Kingpin feeling like noticing that they have no control in what they want to do. Like Daredevil, he wants to help people, but he can't fully do it as just Matt. And then Kingpin can't do what he wants to do. It's basically them realizing that they got more done as Daredevil and Kingpin than they are now. Like they kind of realize
Yeah,
that they
there's a lawyer in
haven't
there.
had a lot of control in these situations recently, and they want to be back to how. And Matt realized that Daredevil was better for people because people keep mentioning, where is he? He helped people, and then Kingpin is like, well, my ways got things done better too. So it's them finally realizing like, hey, well, they become born again. So and
Yeah.
you've seen that throughout this whole show that they've there's like a loss after loss or just a thing that happens where they're like, well, no, they're like we need to come back type thing, and
Yeah. One
it's
thing I
happening.
will say, by the end of the show, I'm going to make this speculation. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm going to make this theory that even still, by the end of this season, the Kingpin is not going to resign as mayor. He's still going to be mayor by the end of the show.
I think so too. Yeah.
And season 2 will pretty much show the corrupted politician. And season 2 already has the Defenders. It's already been rumored and speculated that the Defenders are going to finally come back into the MCU. Hopefully, there's going to be an expansion on this. Besides the 4 members, hopefully we get some other characters in it. That would be really nice to see, because I know the Swordsman is a darker character because of the Hawkeye show and what I was reading up on, and there's a lot more room for the vigilante side of things. And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe by the end of this, we'll actually get to see White Tiger's daughter finally take up that mantle, and maybe going into season 2, she'll be a part of the Defenders. Maybe. Who knows entirely? It's all speculation. But I will say that these episode 5 and 6, they were really good episodes. Episode 5 was a fun, good episode. Episode 6 was just a banger of an episode. Everything that I
Oh
wanted,
yeah,
and it's everything that the Netflix show had in it. It just dialed down a notch because it's Disney Plus. So like compared to the Netflix show, this episode compared to most episodes is like a 9 out of 10. It's just been interesting that one notch, just compared to all the other episodes
yeah.
where it's like this.
Like,
Yeah,
no, like I really did like both episodes because we got two. But in terms of me, I probably would say maybe around a 7 for episode 5, just because it was
yeah,
just a more, you know,
yeah. I
it's
would give
just
that a fair rating,
formula,
7 out of 10.
just kind of a mid, just kind of a formulaic. Like you kind of just knew what was gonna happen type, but
Yeah,
how they connected it into episode 6 was really good. But episode 6 is a banger. Definitely a 9 for sure, and it's
yeah,
definitely one of the best episodes. And finally, Daredevil's back, and the fight with Muse was great. So
yeah.
I have no complaints with episode 6. It's doing everything that it needs to do. But I agree with you about one thing before we end and stuff. It's just there's no way Kingpin is going to like resign or get out, because this is the whole show has been about them rising back up again, becoming themselves again, and actually finding ways to work their things into what they're doing.
Mhm.
And so I feel like it's like a new beginning for Matt and Fisk and Daredevil and Kingpin, because it's just like you don't make them rise again and not do more with it. Because I don't
Oh
think you
yeah.
could do you can't do everything you would want to do with that story in 3 episodes now. So I think there's a lot more to be told, and definitely with the Defenders coming in, that's definitely going to be the big draw, because it's you
Sure.
got all of them taking down everybody. So,
Oh yeah.
and then so it's going to be a good. It's been a good show so far. Like in terms of the whole show so far, it's definitely like a 9. It's really great. Everyone should watch it. I believe it's really good. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll give episode 5 a good 7 out of 10. Like you said, and like I said earlier, it was a fun episode. You knew exactly what was going to happen, and it delivered entirely. The funny banter between Matt and Miss Marvel's dad was fun and great. I loved every moment of it, and it brought a little light, a little humor into the show.
hmm
And with episode 6, full on, I will say as of right now, because according to the cast, episode 8 is going to be the best episode of the entire show. Right now, this is besides episode 1, episode 6 is my second favorite episode of the entire series right now.
oh
I
yeah,
would give it a straight up 9 out of 10. This was a good episode. It was really good storytelling, great drama, great action fight sequences. And it was suspenseful for sure.
hmm
But yeah, I think everyone right now should go watch this. So far, I don't know why the MCU can't do this, but so far this is probably one of the best projects we've had from the MCU. It's easily
yep,
right now in my top 10 and like the past 25 projects that they've released. Easily. This
yes,
show's in the
oh
top 10
yeah,
for me. But yeah, if you guys haven't already watched it, go watch it right now before the show ends. I think we got 2-3 weeks left before the show ends, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. So,
Two or three more, yeah, for sure.
and if you guys haven't watched Daredevil Born Again, go watch Daredevil before you watch this. You guys will have a phenomenal time watching this show.
Yep,
I'm still stuck in season 1. I haven't caught up, but I'm having a blast watching this show. I love it, and
yep.
yeah,
Very, but We will see you guys next week for more Daredevil Born Again. Episode 7 is probably what's going to be. Yeah, episode 7 is the next one. So we will see you next week for that. And have a great rest of your day, night, whatever. Goodbye, everybody.
Everyone, have a very blessed day. Don't forget to follow us
Oh,
on
yeah.
our social media platforms and follow us on our other channels where you can get more content. And a farewell.
Bye bye, everybody.